Trump just got some really good news as he just announced plans that could possibly change the world. So Trump, he's always been known to be a guy who's, he says what's on his mind. I mean, he's done it with world leaders like Russia's Vladimir Putin, North Korea's Kim Jong-un, and even with United States Joe Biden, which is why it's really not surprising to hear him say something incredibly polarizing. So the former president has time and time again criticized funding for countries like the Ukraine, with the United States and American taxpayers getting the short end of the stick. Now, I guess this influenced his recent statement where he basically said that if NATO allies don't pay up, then don't expect the military power of the United States to protect you guys. Trump said something's not adding up. So after checking the defense budget of each country, he noticed that some were not spending as much money on defense. Now, if it was up to him, each NATO ally should spend at least 2% of their GDP on defense. I think that's only fair. Why should I have to chip in more than other people? You know what I'm saying? If we're all going to be supposedly getting the same benefit. That's the way I see it. But anyway, now, if they don't pay up that much, then don't expect the United States to come and protect you guys. He added that one of the countries in question asked him a direct question. Now, if they don't pay the bills, does that mean that they're not going to be protected? Even though, again, they're NATO allies. Well, Trump responded that this is exactly what he meant. President Biden went on to say that this was shameful. Now, what do you guys think about this? Should you just protect any old body who's not even chipping in, or do you protect everybody just because? Especially the part where Trump said that he would let NATO allies who don't pay their bills be attacked by Russia and not even care. Biden said that this was a sign that Trump was bowing down to Putin, adding that he was being un-American. Now, like I said, let me know what you guys think about that. Before I go any further, if you guys could do a huge favor, take 1 second, it costs you nothing, drop a quick like for the video. Really appreciate it. And I always want to thank you guys for always sharing these videos. It definitely helps the channel a lot. So NATO Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg was unamused and even said that NATO's European members together with Canada have ramped up defense spending to record levels. Now, this is going against what Trump is implying by them not paying their bills. He added that U.S. partners in NATO have spent about $600 billion more on their military budget since 2014, and that Trump was seriously undermining their security by calling into question the U.S. commitment to its allies. Even former President Barack Obama got into the mix and blasted Trump on X. I still call it Twitter, but they call it X, whatever. So Obama said that the last thing that we need right now is a world that it's more chaotic and less secure. A world where dictators feel emboldened and our allies wonder if they can count on us. But many Trump supporters, they say that it's only fair for NATO allies to pay up if they're gonna expect help during an attack. Now, you would think that Putin would love this news. However, he wasn't very receptive of it. In fact, he admitted that he doesn't want Trump in the White House either. So Putin was quoted in saying that he preferred Biden because he's predictable. Trump, on the other hand, he's proven to be a little bit unpredictable, spontaneous, and acting on his instincts. Now, because Putin doesn't want Trump in office could actually be a very good thing for America. But he also added that Trump was a non-systemic politician and that he has his own view of the topic of how the United States should develop relationships with its allies. Now, some analysts say that Putin said this because he wants people to vote for Trump instead, especially since the two have actually had a much better relationship compared to him and current President Joe Biden. However, the Russian president also came to Joe Biden's aid by defending him with the mental fitness that is now challenging the president's campaign. Putin said that he talked to the president back in Switzerland 3 years ago, and at the time, he didn't see any problems. But some analysts say that this is misleading, given that this was 3 years ago, meaning that the Biden he talked to then was a completely different person back then. Not to mention, if you're Russia and you're really a competitor to the United States, who would you rather have? Someone you can easily beat down? Someone you can easily outsmart? Or someone who will pose a challenge? So if that were the case, if I were Putin, I would want Biden in office too. But I digress. But don't worry, because there's one person who feels as if they're ready for the Oval Office. Now, with the question surrounding President Joe Biden's age and mental acuity, one person has now risen to the challenge, and that person is none other than Vice President Kamala Harris. So she says that she is ready to serve the American people as their next president if that's what she needs to do. Y'all ready to vote for Kamala Harris? She added that people who have seen her work can see just how ready she is to lead. However, some critics argue that the United States might be better off taking its chances with the president who has dementia compared to the VP. This is, however, another possible candidate, one that could mount an independent or even third-party campaign for the White House. Senator Joe Manchin was asked about potential runs for president and was asked if he already had a running mate in mind. So Joe Manchin, who's been pretty much playing it safe and aloof with his statements, said that he would want Mitt Romney as his potential vice president. He acknowledged that a third-party run is on the table, but that he's still evaluating everything at this point. Now, some analysts say that this could possibly affect the Biden re-election, as Manchin would probably pull a few Democratic votes from him. Now, on the topic of Democrats, Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas probably won't be impeached, as Democrats in the Senate will probably just acquit him. But it doesn't mean that the political damage has not already been done. President Joe Biden's fired up about the issue and said that Mayorkas himself was a Cuban immigrant who came to our country with his family as political refugees. He noted that he has worked for more than 2 decades serving Americans and has done a fine job on the borders. The problem is that many Republicans don't feel the same way. Some experts argue that Mayorkas was actually really bad at his job, given that millions of illegal immigrants got past the borders on his watch. But what do you guys think about that assessment? But let's go ahead and move on to what's happening with Trump and his many cases. You see, he just got a huge win recently, as it looks like Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis, as well as Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade, they are both one step closer to being fully disqualified from the Trump Georgia election case over allegations of their relationship. Within the 2 hours of testimony, Willis seemed to be greatly offended by the questions that she was asked. Now, as you guys already know, Trump's lawyers are saying that Willis's relationship with Wade, it's a clear conflict of interest, something that could possibly crush the election subversion charges against the former president. Now, the allegation is that Willis hired Wade as a special counsel and overpaid him to be the special prosecutor in Trump's case in late 2021. It's also been said that the 2 luxury holidays together that was paid for by Wade, which included a trip to the Bahamas and many other places. Wade said that this was incorrect, since Willis was a strong and independent woman, and even if he paid, she would pay him back. The problem was that she paid him back, but in cash. That means it's impossible to trace. Can't prove it. Now, some experts believe that Willis's demeanor might be enough to have her disqualified, which again would put Trump on top. But what are you guys' thoughts on this? And as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to be here with you guys every single day, keep you guys informed and updated on what's going on. So before I go, appreciate you guys hanging out. Thanks for dropping a like for the video. Thank you for subscribing, and I'll see you on the next one.